Welcome back to part 2 of our conversation with rally driver Ethan Hunter and rally co-pilot Alex Augustine. Here is a quick recap from our last episode.
We have Ethan Hunter back on the podcast today, and it's co-driver Alex with us. We are excited to dive in. Ethan, how have things been? How's the race team?
Well, we just came off Olympus. We finished. Snowdrift, we did not finish. We had a little oopsies. Ended up on our libs, rubber side up. And we're just, clawing our way through these rallies, one rally at a time.
We are going to be showing some photos that Ethan shared from his races and some stuff that he took on the road. So if you guys check out the video for this, either on Spotify or YouTube, you can see this.
Funny story about that. So after we took this picture, Ethan was more worried about damaging the wing on that deck lid. So before anybody did anything, we pulled that deck lid off so that thing didn't get jacked up. That's cousin Tim Tam, and he's winning at the slots.
Oh my gosh.
That boy turned $10 into $320 on the pugs.
Oh my god.
Oh, I know. He called it too. He said this machine's about to win money, and I got pugs at home. I'm gonna put $10 in her, and $10 turned into 320. And with one button click.
Well, we got some more pictures here for you guys listening. It's just some pictures of them working on the car at Snowdrift and at Olympus. Got some more rally photos of them jacking it up, getting the wheels off, doing some checks. It looks like car looks good, man, and the way it lights up in Washington looks great. That's some serious lighting for real. I mean, that's insane. And started the day in 80th, worked our way up to 44th, on to tomorrow. So yeah, man, there it is. Man, that's awesome.
I don't know why the tarp looks like underglow on it.
Yeah.
You guys gotta get some underglow on it. Is that legal? Come on.
Yes, there
underglow.
are cars.
I think you guys should have underglow on it.
It's just surviving. We'll survive to the end.
Hey, I'll just go on a limb and say we will sponsor underglow if you guys will run it.
We'll throw it on.
Okay, I got you.
All right, I'm gonna sponsor the little stick-on lights for the door, so when you open it, it's gonna say the Wave Podcast on the ground like an Audi.
Sick.
Oh, what?
Sick.
That's
awesome.
Dude, that would be awesome, dude.
Dude,
open
you guys
the door, Ethan just getting out.
Park expose, you open the doors at night, it's just the Wave all over. Like, just
sick.
Oh my god. Ethan, something I wanted to touch on is that I've been loving all of the reels and stuff you've been putting out, and like about your dad, your mom, about like, just the racing history in your family and kind of where you're at. And then I saw you put out about the retro suit that you're wearing here, which is like super sick, and I love that. And
yes, sir.
I think anybody who wants to follow along, you should definitely check out Ethan's page and the content they've been putting out. They got some good stuff.
So that's the last stage selfie.
Last stage selfie.
Go ahead and explain to them what that is, Alex.
The end of the last stage, right before we take off, we'll do a selfie right after, or right before we take off the stage and right after. So these are just the survivors, the last of the survivors.
That's awesome. Man. Is this something that every driver does, or is this something that is like within your group of people?
Just the cool
it's kind
people.
Kind of like our own tradition.
The cool people, yes.
Nah.
That's awesome. Yeah, man. This is also an awesome photo. That's Alex or
Angelo.
Angelo. That's his name.
Our crew chief. That's him next to his crush and finding out she's taller than him.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Oh man. Yeah, he looks a little red in the face. He's nervous.
Oh, dude. He was a massive Ken Block fan. And yeah, he was super stoked. He's super stoked to be a part of, being that close to Leah was like a highlight for him. He was like super stoked about that. Rally's so cool how close you
That's
can
so
be to all the, like, everybody's so chill. Leah is like such a cool person compared to some of the other professional motorsports people.
Way cooler than
Everybody
Danica.
in Rally's so cool. For sure.
You know, funny story. I worked at a dealership, and we used to have a cutout of Danica Patrick, like full size, and we used to shift her around to like jump scare people. So we'd like hide her down a long hallway, like with the lights off, or like, and at one point she ended up in the bathroom. So anybody who opened the door, she would just be like right in your face, just Danica Patrick.
Hey, Danica
So-
in the men's restroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So me and Danica actually we actually have the same amount of top fives in NASCAR.
Really?
Yeah, 0.
That's so crazy. That's awesome. Proud of you, Ethan.
That's right.
Oh man, that's a good stat. I like that.
That's right.
I'm
She
gonna
barely
use.
beat me.
I'm gonna use that.
That's right.
My God, that's awesome. Oh, dude, you guys love standing on this car, dude. Poor car.
I was
right.
nervous I was gonna break the hood. I'm gaining a little too much weight lately.
It was so funny. I was working on a Land Rover Defender today, and they have on the hood like foot pads, almost like these metal pieces that are made so that you can step on the hood and like with stuff on top of the car or whatever. And I was like, man, with how much you guys are stepping on this, you might as well fucking add those on.
I would stand on the roof, but now there's so much Bondo.
Yeah. I gotta say, you guys take the best photos. I have not seen another rally team that takes photos like this. Everybody else is like
Agreed.
next to the car, or they're all like hugging each other. You guys are like on the hood, like.
So, yeah. So I have to ask the most important question I think that anyone wants to know. I found out recently that you guys have a JBL speaker, a Bluetooth speaker that you guys rock in the car. What are your top favorite plays? Come on, what are you guys listening
Liza
to
Minnelli.
when you're ripping the rally?
Yep. Sarah McLaughlin,
yes.
Liza Minnelli.
Sarah McLaughlin. For $2 a day, you could save this dog. That's just all they're
Pre-90s
listening
Michael
to, just
Jackson.
commercials.
Yeah,
Yeah, Smooth Criminal.
No,
Smooth
Kenny
criminal.
Lofton.
it's definitely fun to set the vibe with
That's
certain
amazing.
songs, It's like before the rally, during transit, after the rally. It's like we have like all these different songs that,
Okay.
just feels good,
You guys have playlists.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, can you do me a favor? When you guys race in Colorado with Dave, you have to start the race by playing the Pokemon theme song, like full blast. Just that is like the best
We have a
song to
bright
start a
yellow
rally
Baja.
to.
It's perfect.
Just
And also,
wanna be
I have
the
a
very
giant
best.
Bluetooth speaker that I can strap down in the back of the Baja. So, yes,
Let's do
Patrick, we're doing this. I'm giving Ethan full control of the Bluetooth. We're gonna do the whole stage with Ethan on controls.
Dude, we had the best idea at Snowdrift. Like right where this picture was taken is like our booth, and then Dave's car was like blocking the exit or whatever, and he had a speaker on top of his car, and we were playing music. And then I was like, dude, like we did a whole episode on Snowdrift. I was like, why don't we just play it on speaker? And so we were playing it full blast, and like everybody was like listening to it as they walked by or whatever. But then I forgot that we did the whole episode thinking that Bonfire Alley was a thing. So then everybody kept coming by and they're like, you know that's not happening this year. I was like, I know, dude. I know. We're here. I get it. Like, you know, it's like, oh man, brutal.
Lose hope on
But,
Bonfire Alley yet. I
yes.
think it's going to come back as like maybe it'll creep its way back up. You know, maybe it needed a break.
Well, everybody I talked to was like, yeah, we're just going to make another, like one of the other tracks, Bonfire Alley. Like they were like, if this doesn't come back, we're just going to shift it somewhere else. And I was like, okay, I'm in. Wherever it's at, I'm in. But something I didn't realize, I found out so much about this while I was there, is that when you are done at Bonfire Alley, which everybody leaves the morning track at like 3 or 4 o'clock to get over to Bonfire Alley for like 6, you're drinking the whole time and then through the whole event. And then you get in your car and you get on the track to leave the event. I was like, who, how? Like, dude, like I was there in my WRX. I'm like, dude, if I was hammered and got in this thing on a rally track, I would be blazing down this road. I would be like, this is the sickest shit ever, you know?
The locals
like-
think the same.
I can see the problem. I know where the problem lies.
Yeah, they told us in the drivers meeting. They even they're like, yeah, if the locals start like trying to race you on their snowmobiles or side by side, just let them go. Don't try to race them. And that one of the stages got canceled because of that. He just saw the race cars going by. He goes, oh, I can go faster than that, and just started ripping.
Oh man. Yeah. Some of those snowmobiles, man, I saw a ton of them when we were out there. They were just driving on the side of the road and stuff. It's crazy. But
Yeah, they have their own lanes.
yeah. Ethan, this is a picture with your dad, right?
Yeah, that was after Olympus.
The man, the myth, the legend, Papa T.
It's cool that you get to do this with your dad, man. Like I know a lot of people who get to race and get to compete and they just don't get to do it with their family because of whatever reason, you know, either their parents are working or they can't commit to it. But like it's cool that your family is like totally on board and you get to kind of do this with them. So it's cool.
Yeah, they're definitely a huge part. They make it super fun, and yeah, without them, I don't know what I'd be racing. Probably soapbox derby
Yep.
cars.
Man, you got the stickers on the helmet. You got you on
That's
the
actually
helmet.
wrapped. That's a wrap.
Really?
Yeah, Alex
I
did
wonder who did it.
$3.99.
This picture, man, I also love this picture. This is like, to me, this is like wallpaper background, you know?
For
You
sure.
got the trees, the lighting's great. You got the lights on the hood, like people in the woods watching you rip around the corner. Like, dude, this is just straight rocks. This isn't even gravel, dude. You're just driving on rocks. That is insane.
I've never
Like, dude, this is what
I mean, I've driven on rocks before, but I've never like raced on that type of surface before. So that was definitely new for me. I mean, it was a super weird grip feeling. Like it was almost like the top was loose, but then there was a little bit of grip underneath, but you couldn't find it unless you really spun your tires. And I didn't have enough horsepower. It was so different from me, you know, from driving in the desert. I've only ever really driven in the deserts. So that was
yeah.
for sure.
I feel like rocks like that, it's like you're going sideways, but you're also making forward momentum. You're kind of like it's just crazy.
It felt like we were skimming on top of them. Like we were actually just like skipping over the top of them. You couldn't like dig in. You couldn't dig through them. So like you were like forced to drive
Yeah.
on top of them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you try to get grip, like climbing, you know, like when you're hiking or something on rocks or whatever, like they start slipping under your feet, you know, it's like,
For
it's hard
sure.
to get any kind of grip like that. But man, I mean, I give you credit because that would sketch me out coming around a corner like that on just rocks. Like that is like a super sketchy like turnout. But dude, like we were talking about with rally tires, like this is exactly what they're made for, to be able to drive over pointy rocks and not blow out, and like to be able to handle something like this. So
Yeah, like an all-terrain would totally, if they didn't pop or, get a puncture, they would definitely DB, like 100%.
yeah.
Is anyone running like rim locks or anything?
Bead
I'm gonna
lock?
give you a challenge. Try to find a photo where Ethan's mouth isn't open.
Yeah.
Dude, my mouth is always open.
That's because
all the time.
he's focusing.
Right.
I'm never.
That's how you hit warp
Dude,
speed,
I am
baby.
such a mouth breather.
You need more airflow. You see, he's got the vent open on the roof, so it's going right in his mouth. It's
That's
perfect.
Dude, I need a CPAP machine.
You know, dude, I love mine. I'll tell you, life changing, man.
Yeah, I had to keep that
That's
vent
awesome.
open that whole time. I have a 3-layer suit, and that thing is absolutely terrible. It does not breathe whatsoever.
Oh man,
I know I need to get me a nice like Victoria's Secret one or something.
dude, these pictures are awesome. Like I just like, oh man, this is like the dream, dude. You get to just take a Subaru out in the woods and just do what it was meant to do. You get to just rip the corners, beat on it. Just, this is sick. This is also a super cool photo.
That's the red light that I was talking about. That's all I really see inside the car is that red light. Just reading the note.
I'll tell you what, anybody who wants one of these wallpaper backgrounds, you hit me up. I'll send it to you. 100%. You can put it on your computer. You can make a sticker out of it. You can meet Ethan, have him sign it for you. Whatever you want.
Yeah, those are good photos.
Yo, Ethan, I will tell you, by the way, I signed my first autograph in Snowdrift.
What? To who?
Dude, some little kid came up. He had a poster that was signed by Travis. And he goes, "Can you sign right here next to Travis?" And dude, I have never run for a pen so fast in my life. Dude, I was like, who's got a Sharpie? Who's got something? And then I realized, I was like, I got a pen in my backpack. I just started reaching around. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, that's it. I've made it. I signed an autograph. It's over. I don't have to do anything else.
You don't have to worry
That's
anymore,
awesome.
baby. We've hit it big time. I've signed autographs.
Yeah. Dude, I mean,
you can tell your old lady to quit her job.
You know, I told her, she said, well, I make a lot more than you do. And I was like, oh, never mind. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah, when we placed third in Missouri, the first thing I did was call my wife and told her to quit her job. She don't have to work no more. We're third place, baby. Yeah.
Baby, back it up. You're not gonna believe this. I got third and bought a house. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, dude, it took a lot of convincing for me to get to go to Snowdrift for the week with the boys. That was a tough sell.
Now it's annual.
Now I'm trying to sell STPR. Yeah, I know. That was the caveat, right? It wasn't in the contract, but like it's happening every year now.
Yep. Sorry.
Oh man. Dude, these pictures are great. Like I gotta give a big shout out to anybody who does any photography for ARA and is out there with the cameras and stuff. Like, dude, the content that comes out of this is like incredible. And like I've gotten the chance to like talk with some of these people as I was posting the photos that we took, and people that were like, even the drivers who were like, yo, thank you. Like that looks sick. Like that's my car or whatever. And I was doing some of the edits, and it just like, it's been incredible, man. I've been loving it.
Yeah, I feel like the rally community is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard for somebody that's like, not committed or not serious to go out there and either bring their car and do a whole rally program or even just spectate. It's a lot to spectate. It's not like you're just going to a racetrack paying $10 and sitting on a bleacher and then, experiencing it and going home. It's like you got to like do your own mission to get there. It's like a side quest even just to go spectate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dude, I gotta say that that wing looks exactly like the wing on a hatchback, like a 2014 STI. You know, like the aftermarket ones that come off the top of the window.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
It's a good look.
yeah. That was
Good thing you
built by
saved
just
it.
one of my stock car boys.
That's awesome. Now, this is something we wanted to talk about was how much does it cost to flip a rally car?
Huh. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, Ethan kind of laid it out here that you know, you got to get the truck and the trailer out there. You know, Airbnb 7 days plus 11 people, tires, entry fee, 91 octane, media, flights, truck drivers, rental car, food, merch, like pretty much if you're going to rally and go to an event and like you got to pay all the fees and everything else, um you're looking at like 11.5 just to do everything. And get everybody out there and make it happen. Now, once you flip the car, you're pretty much doubling everything that you see here. So it's
Yeah, I mean, it definitely depends
it's
on what
crazy,
kind of
man.
car you're flipping too. You know, I mean, there's some people out there in brand new chassis, like 2024 models, or like very recent modern cars. I mean, thankfully, my car is a 30-year-old car, and it's not an expensive chassis. But I mean, yeah, there's people out there where if you bend a car, I mean, it could be a $10,000 chassis before you even bolt any race car parts onto it. So I mean, it could get very expensive to
But I
roll.
would argue some of those people are also sponsored by the companies,
100% not.
and so
100% not.
it's different. Really?
There's
I
probably,
wonder when like Hyundai's out there.
I would say, so even all those Hyundai cars that you're seeing, like the Hyundai i20s, those are all paid rental
Mhm.
cars. So those guys paid to drive those cars. And if they roll them over, that comes out of their pocket. There was 3 people that get paid to
Okay.
do rally. That's Ken Block,
Right. It's a very
Travis
small group.
Pastrana. Yeah, it's Travis Pastrana, Ken Block, and I'm missing the other one. I can't say his last name. It's
Latvia.
the Latvia guy. Yeah,
Latvia.
those are the only 3 people that are getting paid to rally.
Toyota's
Everybody else,
team principal.
yep. So, unfortunately, it doesn't pay any money to go rallying unless you're like a superstar.
Yeah, I mean, you know, from my experience with doing like NHRA drag racing like professionally, um you know, even if they pay you, right, with like TV time and everything else, they pay you $1 million a year. Like the problem is like you got to keep 3 engines on hand. You got to be able to like keep the car up to date. You got to pay for the drivers to get the car to every single event. You got to pay for like basically this list that you put together for rally cost, like 10x that, you know, like every event. It's like crazy money.
I guess I misunderstood. Like I thought the couple Hyundais that I saw at Snowdrift, for example, were actually like Hyundai racing those. One of their drivers or somebody, or when I saw the Mini Coopers, like doing that. Now I'm well aware there's rental opportunities. I just did not realize that Hyundai was, catering to that.
There are,
You know-
I mean, there are. So, for example, like there's 2 mini teams. Subarus are hard because every Subaru, like every rally car is a Subaru. I mean, when you go out there's 80% of the grid Subarus, and then 20% is everything else. But let's say like the other guys, they I'm sorry, I just spaced that. Go, my goodness, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ethan.
I just like I wanted to say that I think another driver that gets paid to race is probably the GoPro driver, right?
No, he was
I mean,
in an
he's just-
agronaut
Nick Woodman, I
rental
would
car.
argue. No, I would argue he's paying for himself.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's
Yep.
what I was saying. The mini guys, for example, like there's 2 guys driving a mini, but one team is being paid to drive the mini, but that car is a completely stock mini. I mean, we're faster than them on some stages and stuff like that in our car. So
Mhm.
yeah, not just because, you know, they're like they get paid to go out there. They're not a lot of those. Most of the gut teams what we're saying is most of the teams that are out there are all privately funded, with the exception of maybe 6 teams total throughout like the nation. Everybody else is paying to be there. There's and that's what I mean. The mini guys, they're like they get paid a salary, and they're basically getting paid to R&D the car. So they're not even getting paid a lot of money. So, and like Ethan's talking about, out of those
Okay.
6 guys, 3 of those guys are really making the bucks and living the life. But even like Brandon Semenick, to get to Olympia, I mean, he had to pull strings and pay for a rental car to get out there, you know. And he was, when the car was running, he was faster than Latlava. So, but yeah, him have like Semenick had to pay himself to get into a car. So
Wow.
Okay. No, that's great insight. I didn't realize. I guess for my first or our first rally event, I saw some of these companies, like I said, companies like Mini, and Hyundai, like, doing these things, and I'm like, oh, they're here trying to represent the brand. Now, I'm sure they are in some ways, obviously, but they also it's there's different levels to it.
They do a very good job
Now-
of portraying like what they want to be versus what is actually happening. You know, everybody wants to, it's just like social media. You always want to, post the good stuff, right? So of course you're going to post, if you got a little bit of a Hyundai sponsorship, boom, you're going to put a Hyundai logo on your car. Cause I mean, that's going to interest other sponsors to bring in. So there's just a lot of faking it till you make it. But the only thing that's not fake is all of the money that they spend every weekend to do it. Nobody's making money.
100%.
Nobody.
100%.
Now, here's a question for both of you guys: is you see what Grid Life is doing, right? Like, they are now equity owned. They're trying to turn what is a race event into an experience, right? They're trying to make it more of like, we got DJs playing, we have a whole weekend that we make out of it. It becomes this thing that you're buying tickets to as more of an experience, less of a race, right? Like, even though it is racing, they're trying to make it exciting. Then you look at Formula Drift, who's kind of like doing the kind of same thing where they're trying to make it exciting. They're trying to get people there. They're, pushing Adam LZ and all these other big names and trying to like make a thing of it. Now, do you think that that's where ARA is going? And what do you think it would take to get to that point? And do you think it would be beneficial for the sport, or do you think it's good where it's at?
Yeah, I think so. I think getting any new people in is great as long as, they're not there to ruin the stage, because as you saw, it only takes one person to get a stage canceled. So you want to make sure that you're bringing in people, but you also want to make sure you're bringing in responsible people. And I think having like some some special stages at like a racetrack or somewhere where there is some bleachers or something where, people that can't walk a mile into the woods, at least so they can get to see the action. I think that would help out. But inevitably, rallies for the hardcore people, and if you want to go watch drag racing, go watch drag racing. If you want to go watch rally racing, you're gonna have to go into the woods.
right. I mean, there is a form of rally that you can watch, and it's called rally cross. And I think that for rally events to make it's I think ARA, it does need to do something like Ethan's saying, there needs to be more spectator and like things for people. So I would say like more things for people at the service area where people can watch the cars go back and forth, or like Ethan's talking about, a special stage where it's in like an arena or something like that, where these people can sit in the bleachers and now kind of watch cars come through or see a race, much like NASCAR or Rallycross or anything like that. But rally is more of like, it'll never be a way for like fans to come out to spectate, but I do think that coverage wise it can grow because we have the technology to, right? There's no reason why we can't have a team of drones out there putting coverage down as cars
Live
go.
streaming.
But yeah, there's definitely ways that it can be improved for sure, but I don't think that it's ever going to turn into, let's say, like a Grid Life or a Formula Drift or anything like that. just because of just the logistics of everything, and it just it can't, like he's saying, it's more of the extreme. You see rally more of like a like Baja or like, you know, Dakar or something like that. You know, rally is more along those lines. It's like for more of the hardcore people, somebody who like nobody really wants to sit in a car for 3 days and transit more miles than race, but there's something wrong in our
Mhm.
head that we do, you know? So
Yeah.
we're just
You
so
know,
hardcore.
I was kind of thinking, I was before this episode, I was trying to place like what this would look like and what would bring in people and make it a little bit more exciting, right? And I feel like there's a lot that they could do if they had the proper backing and that the town was like, on par with it, or, the state or whatever. Because like I think that the two things that would make a big difference is one, you could bring on guest drivers that even though they're not racing in the event and they're not trying to compete, right? It's almost like halftime. So in between the racing, you could send a car with, you know, some big driver down. Like, let's just say Bucky Lassick just shows up and he comes down the track and he hits the corner and he does a 360 and rips it, or like, like you could have some big names show up and kind of like keep the crowd, hyped up as
Mhm.
things are going on, and like it makes for good clips too, and people are there recording and there's a lot of coverage. I think that it would bring a lot of interest to a wider variety if you had different people show up, right? It doesn't even have to be
Yeah.
a driver, right? Like, let's just say you had someone famous show up that isn't really into driving like that, like I don't know, just anybody. You could have any big name who would, come down and just be willing. Dude, I would be down to just watch like my favorite music artist, let's say Post Malone shows up and he tries to rip it down an ARA track, like, not saying that that's a great example, but like, dude, that would be cool. Be like, dude, Post Malone is at an ARA event and he's gonna drive a
Well,
rally car down this track. Like,
Right.
it
Send
gets it
send
gets people
Carrot Top.
excited.
I'd be hard pressed to
Send
think that,
carrots.
like, they're not already thinking about that. Like, I think like Baja events, they're probably not thinking about. They're probably already thinking about how do we broadcast this. Can you imagine the Baja 1000? Broadcasted. You
You know,
know,
my
like the Tour de
first
France.
my first thought
Agreed.
was that. And then my second thought was like, dude, the park exposés are cool, but I think that it would be even cooler to do a little bit more to like show off the drivers in their cars before you hit the track. It's same thing, dude. It's like the two times that any NFL game gets the most hype is when the game starts and halftime. And so, like, with ARA, it's like those are the times that they're trying to do it. Dude, the park expose, they should have like a little mini jump for all the drivers to hit on their way out of the park expose or something. You know what I mean? Like, so
Ooh.
like it's something small, but like people will all be lined up to see which car is going to send it over the tiny jump before they take off. Like, I think that it's just like a little bit of like hyping it up and like making a little bit more out of it. I think who does this really well is like you look at what Nitro Circus is and how they have started as like this small company, and they were doing some small, like motorcycle and dirt bike stuff. And then now they've turned into like basically a circus event, how they like operate. But like they're keeping it fresh and they're bringing in fresh drivers and they're getting new people and new content, and they're keeping it like alive without sacrificing what it was to begin with. And I think that like the ARA could just use a little bit of this, like, dude, this is what I'm saying about when we go to Snowdrift. You ask the guys what's going on, and the people working there don't even know what's going on. Like, I feel like organizationally, they could like really hone in on like, what are we doing? Like, how are we gonna like take ARA to the next step and like keep this going for like future generations so that they can do more with this, And I think that like it's these little incremental changes that could like really make a big change overall. So
Right.
Well, and I guess
You're
to
not
touch on
that
that, I think that, in the past, me and Alex, we've only been in rally for a few years, so we don't know about like all of the past sanctions, but I do know that like it went from Rally America to ARA, and there was another sanction before Rally America. And I know that they've all battled the same issues, and that's who do they charge? Who are they going to charge the money? And that's the drivers. The drivers are the only ones that pay any money to get the event to happen, because the spectators don't pay any money. So any other motorsport, they get paid from, coverage rights, spectators paying their entry fees, all the money made off the hot dog.
Sponsors.
The sponsors. I mean, ARA has a very, very, very limited amount of people that they can charge. And I think that's where it kind of all stems from. There's really not a lot of money being made in rally, unfortunately, because we're hundreds of miles deep into the woods and nobody knows we're even there.
Right. It's the same. Actually, it's happening in WRC right now, which is World Rally. They're in sell right now for a new promoter currently, because it's the same thing. They're just it's hard to promote a race. They you just physically can't watch or see. There's the very limited coverage on everything. So it's happening even on on a worldwide scale. So
Yeah, but with all due respect, Patrick and I saw a bunch of and we effectively, due to like logistics, we were accordingly VIPs for Snowdrift, and we at one point saw them shut down a live course because a bunch of VIPs showed up late, and they had to shuttle them over to a VIP area they could watch. And it was a good corner. That was all. And it was literally like Patrick and I saw it. It was just a little, caution taped off corner, little square for them to stand. And that was the VIP. That some of these people, with all due respect, they look like they had never been outdoors hiking in their lives.
right.
And they paid money to be VIPs, and they got basically handed a 8x8 caution taped off snowbank, and we're like, there you go, there's your spot.
And the VIP thing's new.
Like Patrick said, with all those, like, maybe they could do better in yeah,
No,
I
I
know.
think-
Okay. But maybe those guys get and I'm not saying they get champagne, but maybe they do. I don't know. Like, how do you like Ethan was saying, how do you incorporate more money? If you could bring in a small spectator group that was 50 people that paid $10,000 each to be there, damn right they should get champagne. They should get all the bells and whistles, and they should get the best corner spot to spectate of anyone, or whatever, and some bleachers set up, what have you, and heated little, propane heaters to make them feel warm, whatever it may be. Because with all due respect, Patrick said it, the guys that we were hanging out with on day 2, we were living bougier than the guys that paid money for a VIP. We had a better setup than the guys that paid a lot more money than us to be there. And they got shuttled in on Sprinter vans and everything else. And they got the course shut down for 20 minutes so they could walk through the course to get to their designated spot. And then they just stood there in the cold with their hand warmers in their pockets with their Patagonia jackets like schmucks.
And Dave sat there shaking in his little boots watching.
Emphasis on the little boots.
I agree with you, Dave, and I think that dude, something that could be incorporated, right, is maybe you do driver ride-alongs for $100, and maybe that's how the rally teams try to recoup some of their costs. Maybe they have a whole ride-along day that's before the whole event, and if you get picked to do a ride-along, it's $100 in your pocket towards all your expenses and all the shit going on. I think that the one thing that I've thought about that is a downside is let's just say, right, every year you have Boxer Fest, you have Wicked Big Meat, you have Subi, I think it's Southwest or whatever. You have all the big Subaru events. If you tried to line them up and have them at the same time as the rally events and maybe kind of do them near each other, so that way people from the Subaru event could kind of commingle or but then you start to get to the point where it's you look at Boxer Fest, imagine 8,000 people at a rally event. How do you contain that? how do you get enough volunteers to, like, you got 8,000 people scattered in the woods. How do you even stop them from
Yeah.
just wandering onto the
Sure.
track or whatever they're doing in the woods? Like, I feel like the problem with, this is something they talk about too with branding is like, you look at the NFL and they say basketball, right, is the most marketable sport. You know why? Because you can clearly see the jerseys and you can clearly see the people's faces. So it's easy to tell who's who and connect with them and get their branding. You look at ice hockey, everybody's in full gear. You can't see their face. You don't know who's who outside of the number. It's hard to really like connect with a person. So like you look at rally, it's kind of like you got these cars that are out in the woods scattered and you see them fly by for half a second. Or you go to NASCAR and you see the same car go around every single time and you're able to like really like see the car and be like, yeah, that's my car. Like, oh wow, like, I feel like rallies just like it's so tough to market and make it like really exciting for people who maybe are not normally into that kind of stuff. The people who are diehard make sense because they love it and they'll be there and they support their drivers. But like to
Yeah.
get somebody into it, I could see how it's tough to get them out in the woods and like
Yeah.
they see a car go by once and they're like, I don't know about this,
Something that comes to mind with all due respect, electric skateboarding and electric unicycling has a live stream for all their races, and they have like 25 races a year, and this is a whole event, and they live stream them and everything like that. This is electric unicycling, okay? I think it's a little more niche than rally racing.
Agree.
Yeah.
It's
With
just
all due respect,
sometimes we're in the middle
maybe
of
I'm wrong.
nowhere.
Maybe I'm wrong because this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So maybe electric unicycling is bigger than rally racing. Maybe I'm misguided here. But electric
Can't
unicycle
unicycle.
racing is actually publicly national or sorry, like nationally, globally broadcasted by a network. They have a network. They have a whole team of people that follow the races around the country or the world, the globe. They go to Europe, they go everywhere, and they have races, and they live stream it on multiple different platforms, like 22 different platforms. This is electric unicycling. So maybe ARA is a little bit behind electric unicycling, or maybe electric unicycling is better than is rally. I don't know.
It's the same thing. You've been to the hill climb, right? The Pikes Peak hill climb. When you spectated, did you spectate at like the down at the pits, or did you go like Devil's Playground or?
So we always camp at halfway
Okay.
or half mile.
And it's the same thing. I would say it's kind of the same thing that happens with that too. Thankfully, I've always pit crewed for Ethan, so I've got to be in there as crew. But if I had to pay like the $240 ticket that it costs to be in the pits at Pikes Peak, I'd also be extremely disappointed as well. I mean, it's the same way, and that's closer to Springs. You think there'd be a lot more coverage and they'd be able to have the technology to show you the cars go up. But I mean, this last time, and it was so windy and stuff like that, they barely were going up, so you think they would have more coverage, but they didn't have like any coverage whatsoever of like any of the drivers going up, like not even Ethan. We didn't get to see there's a big screen there. But what are they covering? Where are the cameras? They don't have any service is the problem. So we're not,
and I guess
like,
that's
coverage.
the problem. It's service. Yeah.
Right.
When you're in these places like Pikes Peak, or you're in a lot of rural places like, or remote places rather, like, doing rally
Like
events.
Atlanta, Michigan.
Yeah, there's no service. Yeah. No, that's a valid point. And that's the question, because obviously these electric unicycle races are being held at Laguna Seca. They're being held at, Glenwood Springs Raceway, whatever. Like, they're held at raceway tracks.
Right.
These places are used to having good cell reception and coverage, so you could deal with these types of things. And like Patrick said, maybe there's a middle ground where, okay, they have an expose where, okay, they come into town where they have good reception and show it off to the masses and have a little expose, like he said, and try to grow the sport, because he's right, that could bring more money into the pockets of not only the entity of ARA, but also rather take some of the weight off of the drivers.
Yeah. I just have to. AJ, when you go back to edit this, I need you to make a reel of Dave screaming electric unicycle over and over again, because that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I just the fact that you were able to connect that to the rally conversation is just incredible.
I
Well,
can't
no,
wait to get
I've been
drunk with
seeing it
Dave.
for years. They're highlighted.
They're
They're
good racing.
highlighted as
They're rubbing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And when something goes wrong, dude, everyone wants to see that. Everyone wants to watch NASCAR for a crash. Well, what if you're balancing on a self-balancing electric vehicle and you're racing? Anything goes.
You know,
And that's why people like it. That's why millions of people watch this.
One day I just had this like really high thought where I was like, man, you know, people in squirrel suits definitely crash. And I was like, I wonder what that looks like. And then I started looking up squirrel suit crashes.
Don't want to watch that.
I was like, yeah, it doesn't look very good when you tap a rock on a mountain at 200 miles an hour. Like, you know, it's just boom. Yeah, man. I think that Dave, like, that's exactly it, right? Like you just gotta, I don't know, like, dude, the park expose is so crazy. I feel like everybody's running around. You have a whole group of people around Travis, right? Like, as far as the smaller events, we don't have any real experience with that. But like, I will say that like it felt like the Travis show. And I feel like with all these other drivers there, there's not a lot of people walking around meeting these like local drivers and like getting a feel for it. And like, dude, if they had a jump setup, right? Nothing crazy, but something that every driver on their way out could hit, you know? I think it would be sick, even if it's like you drive up a ramp and it's like a plateau and everybody gets to take pictures of your car and then you rip off of it, you know, or something like
Mini Red Bull Flutog.
Like, dude, there's some cool stuff that they could do to like really amp up like all the individual drivers. And like, I don't know. Dave, we're gonna fix this. We're going to Snowdrift next year. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna make the park expose.
I'm gonna fill the Outback full of dirt. Let's go. We're building a jump. We're building a jump on the exit.
Dave out of a cannon, ice cold. Just
they asked me last year to block it off, the entrance. We'll block it off.
Yeah.
And on the way out, we're gonna set up a BMX jump. Let's go.
This year they're gonna ask you to stay.
I'll take my Huffy off it.
Yep. My hatch just opens up as I leave, and all of a sudden someone just comes and just starts shoving off piles of dirt.
Dude, what if we have a rally driver talent show? Just everybody has to get on stage and do something wild.
Ethan would play tennis.
I can play tennis pretty good.
Yeah?
Pickleball now.
Okay.
Backhand, front hand, backhand.
Yeah. Yeah. Ethan, pickleball is for us getting too old for tennis. I feel that. Oh my gosh. So yeah, man. I mean, I think there's just like so much going on with the ARA, and I think that like as far as what I've been following and what it looks like is that Travis is doing a lot to make it more affordable and make it easier for entry, which is another thing, right? Barrier for entry is a huge thing. Like if nobody can afford to play the game, you know, then nobody's going to do it. I think that like you look at all these other events, Grid Life, right? You can get sponsors, you can make it. Maybe it's a little bit more cost effective because they're making it into such a big deal that they're bringing money into the sport. Formula Drift is making a lot of money, and I feel like maybe their drivers are doing a little bit easier of a time building stuff and fixing things. But like for the ARA, like you're saying, like you look at how much you spent on one event, like you're looking at 11 grand in flights and everything. Like it's crazy. And like to continue to do that every race is like, dude, to get to the point where you're making money, like clearly you got to reach, like you're saying, Travis level, block level. Like that's like a steep mountain to climb to get there. And so the only way that you're ever going to do that is if you start every race with the Pokemon theme song. And so I have to say that is the key, and I'm sticking to it. You got to start the race, turn your hat backwards, pull out your Pokeball, throw it. Dave
I
comes
just turn
out.
my circle hat backwards.
Yeah, there you go. This is it, guys. I think we figured out the special sauce.
I'm ready.
Got that Szechuan.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think this is a good place to wrap it up. I mean, I think that I have to say, I'm just so excited for the Baja to be on the track. Dave, we have to make this happen. I need to see this thing hit through.
I already am talking to people. It's happening.
Cool.
I need to see Ethan bring it over the 3,000 mile mark and then just punch it off a cliff or something. Like, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to be in it. I don't want to be in that.
Dave's gonna
There's
be
2
strapped in
jumps
the
at
bed.
Colorado. There's 2 of them.
Maybe you should wear that helmet then.
My gosh.
Okay.
Maybe we
The
can take a
Baja's got
recce
it, man.
penalty. We'll take a recce speed penalty and hit the jump one time in the Baja.
Yes. Yes.
I'm gonna have to
My
shoot.
gosh.
I'll have to do some reinforcement on it. We'll
that
talk,
true?
We'll
You
talk about why.
Can't hit the jump in a recce vehicle?
Well, we have a
35
speed
mile per hour
limit
limit,
of
babe.
35.
Yo, tell them that the Baja speed gauge stopped working after you filled it with canola oil, and then just see what they say.
Hey, so I might know a guy that can actually modify the speedo on that.
Also, how do they know how fast you're going? Are they speed?
It's
Is there
GPS. We have like a rally safe, so it's all GPS like tracked.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
They be tracking. Big
I know
brother.
a guy.
Dave's gonna hack the
I know a
GPS.
guy.
Big brother.
Here
Yeah.
we go. You need like the well, I guess that wouldn't work. I was gonna say where the cops try to hit you with the radar and it like doesn't read. You know, one of those.
Yeah, radar blocker.
No, Patrick. What's gonna happen off the record is I'm gonna have a friend ride behind us on a bicycle, doing 35 miles an hour on an electric bicycle
Oh my gosh.
or electric dirt bike, and we'll just continue along.
Hit it on the Suron.
The GPS will be on there. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Dave,
GPS will be on the Suron, and then we'll be just shortly ahead of them, or behind them.
Dave, I'm gonna say
I don't
what
know.
I say every time when we're recording. Ever since Smeedy has said it, we're on a podcast. It's on the record. There's no off the record.
Hey, I think we're small enough. I don't think the ARA follows us yet.
I know. Start saying off the record.
Dude, media said that to him. Dave was like, off the record. He's like, Dave, we're on the record. We're live. He's like, we're recording right now.
Somebody record this real quick.
Yeah. Well, Alex, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Hey,
it's
thanks
great
for
to
having
meet you. Didn't get to talk to you too much at Snowdrift, but like really hope that we get to meet up in the future. If you guys ever make it out to the East Coast, let me know. You guys are more than welcome to crash at the house, and I would love to hang out with you guys and be able to actually hang out, not just like 5 seconds in and out kind of thing. So, you know, it seems like you guys had a lot going on with Snowdrift, so I don't blame you. It was a pretty crazy time, and I'm sure as a driver too, it's like you have so much going on. So, but yeah, man, we're gonna definitely try to make it out next year. And Dave obviously is gonna meet you guys out in Colorado, and we look super close to what's gonna happen there. We're excited to see the outcome of Rally Colorado, especially you've got Dave, your good luck charm. You can hang him from your rear. You know,
Dave, you're gonna be hanging from my rear, dude. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
You're gonna be
My
able to
man.
pack him in the back seat, just
Oh,
like
I'll
he's
pack
gonna
him anywhere, baby.
he's gonna pop up like, Alex, you need water? Here you go. Just give him a little bottle.
Won't be the only thing popping up.
And Ethan, man, I can't thank you enough for coming on again, dude. Like I feel like this has been great having you on multiple times and getting to know you even better, and just following along with what you guys are up to. So I loved Snowdrift. I loved seeing what you guys were doing. I loved seeing you guys the first time around. Flipping the car was like all part of the experience. And I'm just excited to see what you guys do next. So I think anybody who's
Same.
listening, you guys should definitely check them out. Really Rally Team, Instagram. Definitely make sure you check out the videos, and wish them luck with not flipping the car again.
Please.
Yeah. Well, we'll catch you guys later, and we'll see you on the next one.
Cool. Right on.
Thanks, Kenneth.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
Later.